Well, what's up, friends? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. So we got some good news. Tyron Smith is expected to play. The big fella is expected back. Thank God. We definitely need him to play on the offensive line. Definitely need him to play on the offensive line. And hopefully he can stay there for the rest of the season. It's gotten to the point where Tyron Smith, when he plays, is some of the best there is. But the problem is when he doesn't. You can look back in history, and some of our worst losses have been when the big guy is not there. That offensive line goes when Tyron Smith goes. Other good news is apparently, I guess we got the expedited COVID protocol. It must not have been that bad of a concussion because they're saying that Ceedee will be doing some light work in practice today. Well, there's practice today and practice tomorrow and a game on Thursday, so there's not much time. And more than likely, it's going to be light practice for everybody. Typically on Tuesday is your off day, and that is like the day that you're recovering. A lot of people don't realize how bad it is on your body to play football at that level. That some guys literally on Monday have a hard time just getting out of bed, and it takes the week for them to be able to recover between getting treatments and ice baths and whirlpools and things like that to get yourself ready. Now, as far as concussions go, this goes to show you how far we've come. Back in my day, we didn't call them concussions. In fact, when we talked about concussions, this is how antiquated everything was. In Boy Scouts, they were telling us, if you're bleeding from the ears, you got a concussion. And when we played football in high school and college, we didn't say you had a concussion. We called them blue dot hits, or you're seeing stars. And literally, you would get hit so hard that you could see those blue dots. You would literally see stars. And I remember one time in practice that I got hit so hard in the helmet by Adam Burkett. I'm amazed that I still remember this, but I was a walk-on as a nose guard. Never played defense before in my life, so I was completely lost. I was an offensive lineman in high school. First week of practice, I'm getting hit as a nose guard from the center, from the right guard, from the left guard, from the right guard and the center. Getting hit by the fullback. I'm getting hit by the tight end on a wham block. It's just like you're a pinball at being that one technique, as they call it, 9-day nose guard. But I remember that Steve Ham, who was our center, Steve Ham, went past me. Then we had Kenny Dalton was one of the guards. He went past me to the linebacker. I'm looking for the fullback, and I don't see the fullback coming at me. Tight end, the play's already started. The wham block's not coming. And we had Warren Marshall, better known as Shades. Warren Marshall was a big running back. He was about 6'1", and he was fast, and he hit. But at this moment, I am looking at Shades, Warren Marshall running at me, and I'm like, I'm going to get a tackle. And I stood up in the hole because I was going to meet him. And that's when Adam Burkett, at that time a 300-pound tackle, came down the line, pulled, and hit me in the ear hole and literally launched me. I went sideways. Clean hit. Wasn't against the rules back then. And literally, when I came to, Coach Jones had his finger in my face and said, never stand up in a hole because somebody is always coming for you. And I literally could I could turn my head, and I could feel my brain not turning with the rest of my head. And guess what? Next play, right then and there. And that's the way it was. That's why I'm probably as crazy as I am. Concussions, we know a lot more now about the damage that happens when you get head trauma. And they're being more careful with it, because you don't want a whole lot of NFL players turning much like this. Now, the big question is, if Tyron Smith is back, Terrence Steele. Jerry Jones alluded last week that if Tyron Smith was back, then it was going to be a battle for who's going to be the starter at right tackle. And last week, La'el Collins has left a little bit to be desired, giving up a sack, giving up 5 pressures, and I think 4 hurries. I may have that backwards, but it was not a good day for La'el Collins. Now, the thing is, a lot of people will say, yeah, well, Terrence Steele, look at him on the left. Yeah, on the left. But when he played on the right, he actually played really, really well, to the point where you weren't thinking about Terrence Steele at starter, at tackle. So now we've got the decision to make. What are we going to do with right tackle? Is it going to be La'el Collins after a bad performance last week and not seeming to really gotten in stride? Or are we going to put Terrence Steele back over there? I wish I had that answer, but we'll see. But Tyron Smith coming back would be great news, and we know that we're not going to get Amari Cooper, and we know that Jerry Jones is pissed about that situation. Jerry Jones is truly turning into a pit bull right now, as far as wanting this team to go. And here's where, if you're a conspiracy theorist, and if the NFL is like the WWE, this is where, if they're dictating what Super Bowls are going to be, then they would want to have Kansas City versus the Dallas Cowboys. To have the storylines of Pat Mahomes and Dak Prescott. To have the Cowboys trying to get revenge against Kansas City's early loss. Pat Mahomes, greatest quarterback in the NFL, the team rebounding. And, oh, by the way, the Kansas City-Dallas Cowboys game was the most watched game this season. Now, the Cowboys, of course, you look at all the top 10 games, you got the Cowboys in almost all of those. So we know what the Cowboys would draw. And if the Cowboys went to a Super Bowl, and I know I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying, the Cowboys went to a Super Bowl in LA with the amount of Cowboy fans that there are in California. Wow. They could literally print money for the NFL. So that's where we are. And I'm headed to Lowe's. I got to get some more wood, because you can never have too much wood. Never have too much wood. And with that being said, I'm going to get over here, get my wood, get back to the workshop, and get working on stuff, because I got you guys I got to take care of. I'm Mark Holmes, and hope you're having a great Taco Tuesday. I'll see you later.